I mean, you know,
That's where I was saying earlier. If you take a philosophical position, which you have, and apply it in all situations, and that isn't practical in government. I mean, there are going to be exceptions. There are going to be contradictions. That is a contradiction of your philosophy. I agree that you can't arrest, you shouldn't arrest slaves any more than you should arrest people who don't want to pay their Medicare taxes. But that's a contradiction. But I accept that contradiction.
Well, do you think two contradictory propositions can both be true?
I think so. I think so.
In other words, is it the same to answer yes as it is to answer no?
This is politics, of course.
does that mean yes, or does it mean no?
I think.
Well, let me ask you a question. You give me
An example of a case in which you think two contradictory propositions are both true. You personally think these two propositions.
Well, I think we were on to it. I mean,
Okay.
I think it was wrong to arrest slaves for breaking the law. I think it's right for people to face the law if they don't pay their taxes.
That's not really a contradiction. The contradiction is that here's the contradiction. The contradiction is that you think that even though somebody has not violated anybody's rights, if something is illegal, he should be prosecuted, and it's right for him to put him in jail. At the same time, you think even though they haven't violated anybody's rights, the government should not prosecute him and not put him in jail. That's the contradiction. Do you believe both are true?
Yeah, I mean, I think.
You think both of those are true?
Yeah.
So,
I do.
So you think that somebody should be prosecuted even though they didn't violate anybody's rights, and at the same time they should not be prosecuted even though they haven't violated anybody's rights?
Because if they break the law, they should be prosecuted. I mean, if they don't like the law,
So
they should change it.
They should have been prosecuted also.
No, because that's the contradiction to me. Is like,
Your view is that the slave they should
let the slaves go
put them in and whip them for
and lock up the tax sheets.
And this law is absolutely unfair, but you broke it.
So then we have to whip you and bring you back in chains.
I think
you think that was when they did that? Was there? Were
that was a classic unjust law.
Were they doing something wrong when they did that?
I think were
they doing something wrong when they did that? When they brought that slave back?
when they brought the slave back.
Yeah, when they arrested him and brought him back and.
Right, because that was an unjust law.
Right. Okay. So.
I mean, that's the difference. I mean, I think where we I don't find Medicare an unjust law. I guess you do, but I don't find it an unjust law that equates to slavery.
Well, it is a redistribution of wealth against the people's judgment, and they are forced to pay. Excuse me. Anyway, let me get your view on the relationship of the people and the government. Do you think that all legitimate governmental power is derived from the people?
I do. Yeah. I mean, I think that's what the Constitution established, and I don't know that it's practiced very well.
Do the individual citizens ever have the right to initiate physical force against other citizens?
As citizens, no.
If they didn't have that right, could they have properly delegated it to the government?
Yeah, I think they have and do.
Do you think that you can properly delegate a right you do not have?
I think so. I think that is what government exists for, which is why we have government, so that we don't have individuals turning into their own police force. The government does protect people and the common good in ways that individuals, if we're going back to anarchy, we would have anarchy if individuals were responsible for these things. And that, yes, government can do things.
Let me ask you this. Do I have the right to use your car without your permission?
Of course not.
Can I properly delegate it to my brother?
Of course not.
So you
cannot properly delegate rights if you do not have them.
Well, see, I mean,
Is that not the case?
You're again taking a philosophical point of view and trying to make it consistent throughout all the way through the services of government.
You're against consistency.
Yes,
yeah. I mean, I
Consistency is a mistake.
I think it's the hobgoblin of
Little minds.
little minds. I mean, it's because that's not life. I mean, life is not.
so
It makes sense to
philosophical
contradict yourself.
consistency.
It does. I mean, I think we have to.
And when you contradict yourself,
It's like
I'm not in favor of ideology. I don't like ideology. I'm not.
you think all ideology is mistaken?
I think it's led. I think we learned in the Civil War where ideology takes
So
us.
all ideology is mistaken?
I think ideology as when it overrides everything else and is the driving force of everything we do as a society or a government is dangerous. It's not practical.
So you think that ideology is wrong? So that it's wrong to have an ideology?
I think if you have an ideology, you need to be aware of exceptions to it, practical implications, practical applications that aren't necessarily consistent with
You can have an ideology with a list of exceptions, and that's fine. But you say that you're against ideology.
No, I am. I think.
So, for example, I'd
You
rather-
think all ideologies are mistaken, or you think some are right?
I think ideology, which I define as deciding what before you look at the facts, deciding what you want the facts to show.
That's what ideology
and
is.
in my world,
That's
in
bias.
In my world in journalism,
that's bias, that's
what
not
I see.
ideology.
I mean, there are different. I mean, that's how I view ideology in my
Is that what
world.
you mean
By ideology?
in practicing journalism?
Ideology is just a comprehensive view of reality and what's going on, and what's right and what's wrong, and what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
You think that that's wrong?
I think it is. I mean, I think
It's better to.
Confused about all these?
No, I don't think it's about confusion. I think it's about looking at the facts around you.
Inconsistent and
deciding what makes
contradictory
sense.
about those issues.
I think ideology to me is the enemy of pragmatism, and I just don't think.
You don't think
I
it's
don't think
practical?
it's. I don't think it's a way to.
How do you determine if something is practical if you don't have a principle against which to measure?
I think if you look at the facts and decide and conclude from that what your values are. I mean, I don't think you make your values up ahead of time.
Can you evaluate the facts without having a principle?
What's an evaluation?
Pardon?
What is an evaluation?
I mean, the situation. I mean, I think when you look at
Because every evaluation implies the application of a principle to a specific situation.
No, I don't. I really think.
I think your reasoning, if it isn't by using the principle applied to the facts.
I mean, I don't think you do that. I don't do that. I mean, I just don't think. I mean, I would rather look. I would rather look at the world around me and draw conclusions from it, and not come at it with a preconceived.
You've done a great interview, Mr. Paul.
That was fun. You have a partner?